Welcome to Nifty Novelist. Today's quote is concerning on how he writes, one word at a time. That's what Stephen King, a novelist, once said. And the explanation of this is what Stephen King means when he says this quote is that he very prudently does not ever try to fully finish all or even any of his own novels, books, or short stories the very same second that he starts them, which is actually a very common and yet also very major writing blunder that many different writers, especially beginners, always tend to make. They always seem to want to fully finish writing the whole entire story before it really even ever gets fully started, totally mistakenly believing that by them doing so, they will most assuredly captivate their own target reading audience into sticking around long enough for them to finish reading the whole entire story. They incorrectly think that by them rushing through everything to get everything fully explained to their target reading audience right at the very start of the story, their intended audience will not get too bored, nor too confused, nor too intellectually challenged by their story. However, this logic is very faulty, and that is because you always need to take the proper amount of time to fully develop each and every single last separate and individual element of the story as the story fully develops, very gradually and not all at once. And if a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, then a novel of 1,000 pages begins with one word. And yes, I have indeed written multiple novels that are literally more than 1,000 pages long, but just exactly like with each and every single one of my other novels or books or short stories, each and every one of these particular 1,000 plus page novels of mine also did always start with only just one single word. So don't try to rush through it. Try to gradually develop the story as it plays out, and that's more fun for you and more comprehensible for your target reading audience, and everybody wins in this literary situation. Today's useless fact is a very rare type of fish will melt into oil if it is taken above the surface of the water. Now, how can this supposedly useless fact be turned into a really cool, nifty story idea? Well, in my own story titled Goldfish, I slightly modified this true fact, and instead of making the fish melt into oil, I made all the fish melt into 100% pure liquid gold. Now, in this protagonists in all of this story, they're all participating in a friendly ice fishing competition, and it's in like the icy middle of nowhere, a very isolated place away from lots of other help like police or emergency services or anything like that, and no communication with the outside world. Now, a gang of lots of armed and hostile criminal antagonists come and overtake the ice fishing camp to steal all the fish and to collect all of the liquid gold when the fish melt into liquid gold after they're taken above the surface of the frozen water. Now, these criminals plan on turning all of this liquid gold into solid bars of gold that are worth multiple billions of dollars in order for them to continue to fund all of their own future criminal endeavors. Now, these heroic and yet ordinary civilian protagonists must all band together to survive, and they must all fight back against these armed criminal terrorists and assailants and all of this. And that's where the story really develops. So out of this supposedly useless fact actually comes a very nifty story idea. And that's today's supposedly useless fact turned into a really cool story idea. And now it's time for the Word Treasure Challenge, where I draw a random word out of this box and make up a story on the fly. Instruments. There were once lots of instruments at this band instrumental music factory, and all of them played the wrong type of music associated with their instrument. For like example, if they played the guitar, piano music would come out, or if they played the drums, guitar music would come out, and they say, what is going on here? This is terrible for our business. But then it actually helped their business because the publicity of all of the people coming to see what was going on actually increased their sales. However, with each new customer that came, it started going in the reverse process where it started going back to normal again. And then they lost all of their customers because it became completely normal playing instruments again. They didn't have any unique characteristics to them because it was all the same. And then they lost all their business. And then they said, oh no, this is so terrible. What do we do? And then they said, well, let's try to do our best to make this and all these instruments sound really good, even though they're normal instruments playing like they should. Let's still make it extraordinary by playing our very best and teaching everybody else how to play their very best too. And that's what happened. And then they increased their sales dramatically and they made $1 billion. And that's today's story. I thank you for watching and have a great day.